Well, welcome. We are the Global Grandmothers Council Network, and we are tending our roots. And in this conversation, we're tending our roots with grandmother Valerie Wood-Gaiger, and she's in Wales. And Valerie has had quite a gifting to the world with Learn with Grandma, which is a large Facebook gathering. And she has been a leader in many ways. And I just want to introduce this beautiful, sweet woman. And we are looking at ways that we can merge our work together between Learn with Grandma and Global Grandmothers Council Network. So welcome, Grandmother Valerie.
Thank you so much. But first of all, I have to say you're not quite getting my name right. It is a funny name.
Oh,
It's Valerie Wood-Gaiger. Gaiger. It's pronounced Gauger. But most people call me Granny.
well, I'm sorry, Granny Gager. I will learn that.
Yes, I started Learn with Grandma quite a few years ago. I've forgotten exactly how many now. Um, and basically, it's a very simple idea to share ideas. We elders have got skills and knowledge, some of which are out of date, but most are things that we need. We can share those skills and knowledge with the younger generations, and they, in turn, can help us get better at the technology. I'm not too bad, but I'm still not as good as the youngsters are. I very much want to, I've got various ideas of things we can do. One project which has been very, very successful in many, especially African countries, and I can send you a link, not now, but at another occasion. Um, it's about making sanitary towels. Now, my gran made my first pads out of a wincey nightie. Oh, we call it winceyette, you call it flannel, but they were made out of that lovely, soft, pure cotton material. They washed incredibly well, and they lasted a very long time. So they're better for the environment. Dreadful troubles with in some African countries in getting rid of the towels, and they're not good for the environment. But ones that are washable are much cheaper to make. Well, they cost pennies really. If you use recycled material, the cost is the thread. And there's a lovely little project in Cameroon where 17 grannies meet every Wednesday to have tea and chat and sew their granddaughters' pads. It's
Oh, that's
simply lovely.
beautiful.
It isn't it?
That's from the this American girl raised in fundamentalist Christianity. My mother didn't even tell me ahead of time. When I had my first period, she handed me a Kotex booklet and didn't explain anything. So
Yes.
having these generational teachings is so important.
Absolutely. I had the same experience. I thought I was bleeding and I thought there was something terrible had happened. And then it was explained that it's actually the very simple thing and you're going to have to put up with it, not for the rest of your life, but for the rest of your fertile life. But fertile has other meanings. We can share the ideas and spread the ideas. That is like spreading when you plant a tree, you don't just plant a tree, you plant a living thing that goes on. And some provide fruit, some provide. There's a saying, isn't there? A man who plants a tree, knowing that he will not live to sit under it.
Yes. Yes.
You see, we can share all these ideas that are very simple, very traditional by using the modern technology.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Bringing the two together, the technology enables us to share. I want to talk to you as well about another project that I'm working on, which is to create ebooks. Now, again, paper books They cost more money to make. That means they cost more money to buy. And you can't edit a paper book. Once it's printed, it's done and dusted. I started writing educational books several years ago, and the original books had a cassette. Has anyone got any cassette machines anymore? No, the technology's moved on. And so for the next book, I put in an audio CD because the stories were told by grandmothers in English and in Welsh, because these were for the Welsh version. Can be for any country, of course. And it was lovely to have them told in the traditional languages so that we could teach English as well as teaching Welsh,
Nice. I like that.
you see.
And they can
So
hear it.
once you hear the language, the talk that I had today with this young lady in Pakistan, she spoke English, but I could hardly understand three words. And so I've now suggested, I don't know if you'll take it up, that we could have Zoom links just to have English language talking to an English granny so that they can hear the correct. My English happens to be not to have a local accent. My granny, because I was very ill as a child, my granny came to teach me, and she taught me what was used to be called the Queen's English.
Right.
Now it's called Clear Standard English, but I like to think of it still as the Queen's English because our Queen was a wonderful woman.
Oh, she was. She was precious.
Oh, absolutely. So all these ideas that we have, um, there's no way in the world that I could have published those printed books and sent them to so many countries. And how would I have been able to promote them in so many countries? But with the internet, we can share the ideas, pop a pebble in the pond, and the idea goes out, and someone will pick it up and say, I could do this. You see?
And now with podcasts being so popular, people listen while they drive, they listen while they run, they listen while they work, and they're taking information in. And it's this kind of wisdom that we need to be sharing so it's available.
It's so available and it's free, virtually free. Just pop it online, ding, and it goes around the world.
Yes.
And okay, majority of people will just say, "Oh, that's nice," or something, or ignore it totally. But the odd one will pick it up. And a young man in Uganda called Moses Wamanga, he picked it up. And he's now setting up ICT clubs in schools throughout the whole of Uganda. He took my idea, embellished it the way he wanted to do to the Ministry of Education, and it's happening. They
Oh,
are opening
wonderful.
this, yes. And the next step is that I will go and speak to those schools and say, now, tell me the story. Everywhere, our old bishop, she said, every village, every church, every community has a story. They do.
They do. And
Yes.
every individual has a story.
And also with an ebook, you can edit it, as I say, so it could become a family history. They can research the older members of the family, and then they carry on the tradition of adding each baby that is born becomes part of that community within the story. So cousins, I've just been spent the weekend with my daughter, and not everyone could go, but those that did brought their children. So I saw not only my grandchildren, but I saw my great grandchildren too.
Well, how wonderful.
Yes.
Oh, the generations coming together. And I love how you talk about the younger ones helping the elders with technology. You know, my daughter, when she was 2 years old, she reformatted my hard drive and she knew what she was doing and she knew what keystrokes to use. And I was like, you what? It needed done. And we were trying to find someone to do it. And she was just like, this is how, Mom. And she did it. They're born with that
Yes.
electronic essence that we weren't born with because we didn't have electronics.
The technology moves on. When my brother went to live in what was then called Rhodesia, a letter took 6 to 8 weeks to arrive. It's virtually impossible to maintain a relationship when you've got that kind of separation. But with the technology, I'm talking to you now. We have to check the time difference, but apart from that, we are having a normal, natural conversation. You are in America, I am in Wales. We would never have met without the technology.
Right. That it brings us together in such a beautiful way. I love these gatherings, and I've been doing several interviews today, and the one-on-one connection, heart to heart with each grandmother enriches me. And I am so grateful for the opportunity to gather up this wisdom and then share it out with the
Yes.
world.
And that's another reason why I want to become closer with the Grandmother Council, Grandmother Council Network, because as I say, I live alone, um, and I'm 84, born on the 4th of July, by the way. So I think there's a bit of American in me, but there isn't any really. I do have two American grandchildren, but the fact is that I will go. We will all go. The three things in life that we know will happen is that we will die, and I've forgotten what the third one was now. Never mind. Let's cut
We'll
that
pay
bit
our
out.
taxes.
Yes, yes. Death, taxes, and that there will be another pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they will. They've happened throughout the centuries, and each time it catches people unawares, but they do happen, but not so often, thank goodness. So hopefully we won't have another in our lifetime.
Right.
But those things are cyclical. They will always go on happening. But what we can do is we can make arrangements beforehand to save it being as bad as it was. When they had it in America, very few people understood what was happening, and more people died than needed to have
Yeah.
died.
Well, the medical people didn't understand, and they were using technology that was the wrong technology. The forcing the air into the lungs, those breathing machines was not what that pandemic needed. It was a blood clotting illness.
Yes.
So there, just the politics gets into it, and then people die because they're not paying attention. And
Well,
the wisdom of a grandmother to say, uh, this is what I see, this is what I know. Let's take care of our children in a better way.
absolutely. And make arrangements beforehand. We know that there will be another pandemic, and it's just cost an awful lot of money to have this huge finding out what happened and what went wrong, etc., etc. Um, Much more money was spent here in Britain, and I'm sure globally, of getting the right stuff, etc., etc. But when a supermarket buys of things to go on the shelves, they actually don't pay for that food and stuff until it is sold. It comes on the shelves and it comes in a regular process so that they never run out of anything, and everyone always can buy what they want. But when you had like the COVID, everyone was going mad trying to find the right materials.
And other people were hoarding materials. They were buying up all of the toilet paper and paper towels so nobody else could have hand sanitizer. People had garages full. And it's that mentality of all for me and none for you. I want to make sure I have everything I need and I don't care about you. That's the mentality that is, I believe, a virus. It's
It is in a way, yes. But with foresight and a sensible plan, it needn't happen in the same way that it did in these last few years. Um, when we had COVID in Britain, I live in the mountains in the middle of nowhere, and my son said to one of his friends, "Oh, my mum will be all right. She'll be fine." I got COVID. I didn't have it badly, but I caught it and I was poorly for 2 days, and it wasn't bad at all. But the point is, it wasn't because I wasn't, I was in, I didn't get it because I was in a city. I got it because I was in the country and I came in contact with somebody who had it.
Right. And that's all you have to do. And that's how the
Well,
cold, it's a COVID, it's a cold virus, and that's how
yes.
it transmits. Yeah.
And that's how we elders can show to people, look, this will happen again. Make plans. You know, as I
Mm.
say, in the supermarket, the stuff comes in and goes out every day, and it's just sent to where it's needed.
Right.
Yeah,
Based on what was sold there the last week.
yeah,
Right. Yeah.
absolutely. There's it's just being using common sense, really.
And common sense is not something that everyone carries. It's we call it common sense, but it's really a grounded, integral wisdom that is brought forth by those who listen
Yes, and think.
and think and
Yeah.
feel with their hearts.
For example, when I was talking to the young lady from Pakistan today, and I thought, well, we could use that idea by going to the schools and saying, look, tell us your stories. And then we can create more ebooks and it can spread around that way. Just wanted to interview me as part of her college course. But then
Ah,
I said, you see, but then I sent her another way to think further ahead. I don't know if she'll take it up, but I do know the man that owns the school.
ah.
And I kept him in the loop.
Well,
So,
with the global grandmothers, we are looking for individuals. We have 54,800 grandmothers in our group. And we're looking for some of us who would rise up in a variety of countries around the world to help administer the Learn with Grandma groups and integrate them with Global Grandmothers Council Network. There's a Learn with Grandma International, and then you have 50 groups in
not
different
quite.
countries.
Yes, there's not quite 50. And I have actually now, what's the right word? Not closed down, but what do you call it when you sideboard something, when you put it to one side?
Just set aside. You've just
Yeah, they're
paused.
just set aside. They're not being used, but there can be an opportunity in the future to use them. For example, with a young lady who lived in Syria, and I happened to have gone to Syria on holiday, of course, before all the troubles there started. And she phoned me when we had a video call rather, and I was showing her the dresses that I bought when I was in Syria, and she was, "Oh, that's what the girls wear when they get married, and that's what we used to wear when we were younger, you know." Now they're in modern clothes, but the dress I bought, I could show it to you, but it's upstairs. One was a Bedouin bridal dress, black with red embroidery. Really extraordinary. And you couldn't, but then when I was driving around, I saw some women wearing those dresses. They're made of a very strong material so that they will last, and they're made with a dark color so that they don't get too dirty and they don't need to buy more clothes.
Right.
We're always buying new clothes, aren't we? And
Well, I buy mine recycled. I love thrift
oh
purchasing
yes.
and recycling and getting something somebody else wore,
Oh, yes, the
repurposing
charity
it.
shops have got very good value, I think. Actually, not this sweater. I'm wearing a vest and two sweaters now because it was so cold. But this I did buy. But this one I made.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And what is amazing about that was picked up this pattern in Norway, and I don't speak Norwegian, but I just followed the pattern on the chart.
Oh, and it's knitted?
Oh yes, hand knitted.
Uh-huh.
And I've
Beautiful.
had that. My son went to work in Norway. No, it was northern Denmark actually. And now he's gone back again to live in Denmark, and he's married this Danish sweetheart for many years ago. Isn't that beautiful?
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yes. Um, and, but all of these little things, they are not important in themselves, but they're important if you spread the message that you can do it.
And we were just talking, my beloved and I, that the meaning of life is the meaning you put into it. And we can each add value to these groups, these gatherings. It is the ability to come together with the technology that we have that will help us bond with each other. And it's those bonds that are, to me, the meaning for my life, building bonds with the other grandmothers and with the next generations. Those bonds are what will carry us through as a species.
Yes, yes, indeed. Um, we, we, we have we've probably got too many people in the world now, so that's another thing that we can teach the young is yes, do have babies, but don't have too many. When you think
Well,
of
those
the
are religious teachings,
yes,
that religion has formed our cultures so strongly that, the several religions require the women to give birth continually until they die or can't give birth again. There's several religions that require that, and several that really value if you have 12 to 14 children, that's a man with a quiver full of arrows, the children. And there are important reasons to consider carefully how we bring children into the world
yes,
and how many we bring and how we care for those children. It's not just about a right to life, it's about a right to living, to a healthy life, to a flourishing life.
yes.
And when you have 12 kids, it's the children raising the children. My grandparents both had 12, 14 kids in their families.
Oh my giddy aunt.
And my mother had 4 kids in 5 years.
Yes.
It's just not healthy for the children. And we have to think about our future in that way.
When you look at the number of refugees in the world today, I think it was 42 million. Um, I can Google it again, or you can Google it. With definitely over 40 million refugees in the world. And that's not including those who are within their own country, not able to work and support themselves, and so on. The largest refugee camp is in Bangladesh, which is a very small, very poor country. And the people who lived in what was Burma didn't like their religion, and they were being murdered, so they had to escape. And Bangladesh is the next door country they could get to. So that's the largest. I've forgotten its name for the moment, but I can tell you later. It's the largest refugee camp in the world. But there are many. I'm in contact with people in Kenya with a refugee camp and in Uganda. I wasn't able to visit them when I went to Uganda last time because I didn't realize that you have to get permission from the government to visit a refugee camp. You can't just turn up at the gate. And I didn't have the time or the money to go back to Kampala and then go up to where the camp is. But we've made connections within the camp. And one actually I think has joined your group, or it might be another grandma group. And he regularly speaks in Zooms. And it's also always nice when I see him in the Zoom because he's taken this on and he's going out to the world, not just to get money, although of course they do need money, but also to show what they can do, that what they are achieving. And that gives people, when you're in a country like Bangladesh, and you suddenly get an influx of a huge number of people, and they are fenced in, and there's very little they can do except the best they can do. By the way, that's what my granny always used to say to me. When I was very ill, when I had TB as a child, she said, Valerie, just do the best you can. And that's been my motto for the whole of my life and continue to be. I will always do the best I can.
Well, I think we have done the best we can on this talk, and I am so grateful for you. And so learn with Grandma International, learn with Grandma United States, learn with Grandma Wales or UK. There's different groups on Facebook.
Indeed. And last week I met a young lady from Spain who is teaching in the university in Wales. And there is a group for Spain, but it's been just one of those ones I put to one side for the moment. But if she, as a teacher, having taught in Spain and has teacher friends in Spain, then we might be able to put a little fire under the group and get that going stronger again. It's just, as I say, do the little things. The little things grow. When you plant a tree, you don't plant a sodding great tree, you plant a little one and it grows. And there is a lovely saying about the man who plants a tree knows he will not sit under it in his lifetime. The tree is there for the next generation. The ideas that we can share are there for the next generations.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you so much for joining us with Tending Our Roots. And I'm just really grateful to have had this time with you, Grandma Valerie. Thank you.
We will have more time together.
We will.
We will.
Much love.
God bless.
God bless. Bye.
Bye.